Alright, you are looking for how to start a cash checking store business. I love it, and welcome to this review. My name is Brian Dolinick. I'm going to touch base on the business model, alright, in this example, in this video. I'm also going to share with you kind of my story with this, having over the last couple years started different types of businesses, and some of them worked, some of them didn't work. It was tough dealing with supplies, dealing with equipment, a lot of the territory that goes with not just some of the businesses I started, but also with our example here in this video, which is a cash checking store business or a check cashing store business. And I'll tell you, when it comes to dealing with a storefront, dealing with an office space and equipment, supplies, all that stuff, it's fun at first, alright. It's an awesome business to get started with, a checking cash store business. It's a good business, it makes money, but some of the things required when the market changes from a long-term perspective, unless you're franchising out the business model, looking at the growth of it, and if that's something you want to do, there's really not that much leverage. And I learned this the hard way, where you kind of, after a while, you're working your business, you're the business owner, and then you feel like you're employed to the business. What do I mean by this, and why does this actually come down to really core concepts that you need to know if you want to start a cash checking store business? Well, it's important you know this, because when it comes to the business model, if you aren't looking at franchising out the business, that means everything's going to be based on your self-production. That means when you're producing, when you're getting clients and customers, when you're going out and getting clients and customers, building relationships with people, you have the potential to make money. Alright, when you're not doing that, when you want to take a day off, when you want to take a break, alright, when you want to take a vacation, your business and your income will stop unless you have equipment, employees dealing with that equipment, supplies, and all that stuff that's being dealt with by people who you've hired. So there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of mechanics, and I would advise you, unless you have the budget actually set aside to afford it and you're okay with it without getting into debt, without having to get a loan, unless you have the budget set aside for it, which can cost you anywhere from like $20,000 up to and over $100,000, having gotten around people who have done this, before you consider starting it, if you don't have the budget set aside for it and you're just looking at it, if you're just looking at it because you want to build a business, to be your own boss, to create your own income, if that's what you're looking for, I've got a lead I want to throw your way. And my story with this goes back a year ago when I came across a person who's making ridiculous, ludicrous amounts of money building a business on the internet, and their results were not typical, they weren't average, not guaranteed, they worked their butt off, but they're making more money every month than I was making a whole year, traveling around the world, building a business with time, freedom, leverage, and flexibility. And I started to model and copy what they're doing. Less than about 30 days later, with their permission to model and copy them, I was able to walk away from my traditional business, walk away from corporate America, and create a full-time income, and I haven't looked back since. And I can't emphasize it enough. If you want to build a business to create time, freedom, leverage, flexibility to do what you want to do when you want to do it, obviously work required. I'm not talking about getting rich quick. You cannot do that in business, okay, unless you hit some like lucky son of a gun opportunity or you come up with some invention, alright. But it does require work. You do have to learn some things, but if you're looking out for that out of a business, leverage, flexibility, do what you want when you want, learn to build a business on the internet before you consider, starting a check cashing store business. And if you're still adamant on learning how to start a check cashing store business, comment below. I'll point you in the right direction. But if you're only looking at it to be your own boss, to make your own income, learn to build a business on the internet. It'll save you a lot of frustration, late nights, and aggravation. And that's just my tip. That's my story in a nutshell, very briefly. Without trying to over-confuse you and overwhelm you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got value out of it. I hope this really, out of anything, just makes sense to you to get an understanding of how to build a business to get the results that you want. At the end of the day, it really comes down to the results that you want. So I hope that this made sense, and I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing your success story. And make sure if at the end of this video you'd like to learn, more information about how to build a business online, if you're not afraid of work, not afraid of learning, you can check out my site if you wish. It's 123marketingtips.com. I'll put the link below in the description, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.